Yeah, peanut jet.
Go your yard.
You know, you want to go on? Hmm? See that about the thing, man, how the US want Jamaica and the Caribbean will cut off Cuba. What you think?
Boy, fuck with that again,
Me da wait for Andrew come out come say something still, you know, bro, God, you know, you hear nothing from him still. Is me I say, well, yeah, say minister say something still. Is me I say, yeah, man.
Me hear that, them not hear nothing yet.
I don't know something to me, Rasta. Oh, you most Rasta. You know, man, a bad man, the
You must
Rasta.
want me put big stone in your blood clot.
I joke me around, Rasta, man. I joke me around. Anyway, I talk to my people them about this Cuban thing now, no? Watch out, people.
Many of you are not getting the full picture of what this issue is with Cuba and the medical missions that they send here, the Cuban doctors. And you're wondering, why is this policy being pursued by the U.S. State Department, Marco Rubio, who leads rather the U.S. State Department? Why is he pursuing this particular policy? Well,
yeah, because people them really want to know what really happened. Because some people believe like say, yo, the people in visa them out take away. But no, it's not like that. It's the government who takes side line with Cuba, in which the man might try to fight against the Caribbean and that. You understand me I say? So the man them put go, Regine.
we have prepared a report. Chevron Campbell did the report. We prepared a story based on a report by the New York-based Human Rights Foundation. Now, this is the report that has primarily, other things go into the mix, but this is the report that primarily has influenced the Trump administration to act in the manner it has. We are not saying that it is correct for them to act this way. We're just giving you information because I see many of you wondering, you know, what is it with Cuba and the mission? Well, all of a sudden the US is taking this stance where people's visas, in political officials' visas, are at risk if their countries continue to accommodate these Cuban doctors. We are giving it to you from the other perspective to show you what has informed this policy decision of the United States. Let's hear from Chevron.
HRF's report cites Cuba's Ministry of Foreign Trade and Investment's disciplinary regulations for Cuban civilian workers serving abroad as collaborators as Resolution Number 168. This imposes strict limitations on medical professionals. These include prohibitions on forming relationships with individuals critical of the Cuban government, living with unauthorized persons, and traveling outside assigned work areas without permission. The report also details how Cuban authorities enforce compliance through constant surveillance and require doctors to inform on colleagues suspected of attempting to desert the missions. To further limit their mobility, doctors are issued special passports restricting travel to Cuba and the host country, and in many cases, supervisors confiscate their passports upon arrival. The HRF says Cuba's state-run healthcare system pressures medical workers to participate in these missions, with many fearing career stagnation or job loss if they refuse. Additionally, it says doctors require special permission to leave the country and often do not receive academic credentials that would allow them to work independently abroad. The report says this leaves them with no alternative but to work under the government's overseas medical program. The report also says the Cuban doctors face financial exploitation. It says they earn meager wages, with the economic hardships pushing many into medical missions. This allegedly serves as Cuba's largest source of foreign income, generating up to $8 billion US annually. However, the HRF report states that the Cuban government retains at least 75% of the wages paid to doctors, leaving them with as little as 9 to 25% of the earnings. Jamaica relies heavily on Cuban medical missions to supplement local needs. An estimated 400 Cuban medical professionals work on the island. Speaking recently, Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton stated there's no evidence of exploitation on the part of the Jamaican government.
We respect human rights. We are signatories to the international conventions around that. That is primarily managed through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade. And we want to comply with all those rules. So if there's evidence to suggest that and there's a need for any adjustment, then it's something we're prepared to look at for sure, because in keeping with our mandate to observe and to respect human rights. But like I say, the relationship as we know it has been cordial. The benefits have been tremendous, and we have not had any complaints to date from any of the Cuban nationals who have been here.
Chevron Campbell.
So just to distill all of that, what Human Rights Foundation have reported on, and what the State Department is clearly working with, this Cuban medical mission, they say, I have to be clear on that. Next thing you said nationwide says so, yeah?
Damn right.
Make it clear so they can understand.
They say that it's a program through which the Cuban regime exploits and almost enslaves these doctors.
It's a lie, the man them lie, son of a-
forbidding
Cha-cha.
or making it punishable for countries to host these medical missions, they will force the Cuban government to abandon this regime, this way they are treating doctors, and find another course. Because what they're saying is that, look, you see the doctors that turn up in Jamaica and wherever else, these doctors are in fact are practically enslaved, because 75% of their wages are taken by the government. When they go to Jamaica, their passports in many cases are confiscated. They are restricted to a geographic region. So if they go to Jamaica and they're assigned to NERA, that's the Northeast Regional Health Authority, they're up in St. Anne, and they say, oh, you can't come out of the parish, or you can go as far as Trelawney, maybe, which is a neighboring parish, yeah? Or you can go to St. Catherine Board or St. Anne. Yes, you can maybe go to St. Catherine, but you can't go to town, you can't go to Portland, you most certainly can't go to St. Thomas. You have no business in Westmoreland. You have to stay within a radius, within a small geographic area. That's two. You can't have any relationships with any Jamaican whatsoever. And the people who visit you when you are not working have to be approved by us. And they say that at home, these workers then, if they don't comply, their families get squeezed. And it's a whole situation. So that's what the Human Rights Foundation have put together in their report. And that significantly influences this policy of the U.S. State Department. Again, we're not saying it's right. We're only telling you what largely informs this policy that have opened the eyes of many people. People are wondering, why the hell would you trouble something like this, which on the surface seems so meaningful? And certainly Jamaica has benefited immensely from the medical missions over time. But the U.S. has other information that it says convinces it that this is a glorified program of enslavement and exploitation of Cubans by their own government. All right? There you go.
Yes, my peeps. What do you guys think about what the American government saying about the Cuban? But to me, they are lying. They are liars. They keep doing that thing because they want to try to do things that fit their narrative, what benefit for them. They do not care about the other countries like that. You get what I'm trying to say? I do not think the leaders of the Caribbean will come and do something like that, and they know that it's not right.
I mean, I think so.
But we know America, what they keep doing. You understand? Anyway, why they didn't say anything about Canada? I know for sure that Canada have Cuban doctor there. I didn't mention nothing like that. Nah, Canada's a big country, so they want to live on this smaller island and take disadvantage of them. Anyway, please like and share.
Oh, yes.
And subscribe to this channel, okay? Thank you very much. Peace out. Love Topic TV.
Right. You serious?